Welcome to MugTCG, this is MugTalk, and today we have this must-have before set 4, Legendaries edition. So I will show a lot of Legendaries that I think that you can have now that can be really good in the next meta. Maybe we can see the price of these cards changing for higher, so maybe it's good you have now. But this is like, if you're not playing yellow, you don't need to buy this card, of course, but I think these cards can work a lot in the next meta, and I will explain. So let's start this with the Cunning aspect. And the first card here is, now there are two of them. I'm playing a lot in the Carabas, and I see a lot of metas, a lot of new decks in the Carabas, and most of the decks have like space units a lot, like 80% of the deck is a space unit, and then the meta is really aggro, it's really aggressive. So I think now there are two of them can not fix this, but it can be good to you, because if you like play something in the turn 1 and you have Nitasi or your opponent don't defeat it, you can play now there are two of them, so you will play like 2 turns ahead, then you can play something really big now to attack for more in the next turn, something like this. Then you can be the aggressor in this situation. Sometimes you don't even need to deal with the space, because you can play like a Zukus in turn 2. Now you have a 6/6 doing more damage than your opponent can do, and you don't even need to stop the space, because he can stop your Zuku. So maybe the Zukus can attack for 12 or 18 or something like that before he got defeated or something like this. So I think now there are two of them can be really good in the next meta, and that's it. So the second one here is Cunning. Of course, Cunning is really awesome, and Cunning is probably one of the best double aspect events till now, and maybe could be better in the next set, because we have a lot of we've seen a lot of decks that have a lot of units. They play a lot of units, so the exhaust up to 2 units and bounce something or give him +4 is really awesome. And so I don't even need to explain this card. This card is awesome. So if you don't have Cunning and you pretend to play with Cunning, like the yellow spec, you need the Cunning, right? And here we have the Millennium Falcon, because like I said before, the meta of the next set is piloting, so we can play Millennium Falcon. Like we can play in turn 2, we can play a pilot with for 0, maybe with the new leader Wedge, or like maybe with R2 that it costs 0 piloting. So this is a 4/5 in the turn 2, so this is awesome. You can defeat everything, you can attack 4 in the base, something like that. And of course we have the new Han Solo unit that have piloting too, which is awesome with Millennium Falcon, of course. So I think Millennium Falcon can see higher price in the next set, so maybe it's better to have now, right? So now let's go to the next aspect. We have here the aggression one and Polymer. Of course, Polymer is really good, because of course the zone attack is dope. Everyone knows this, because you can use ECL, you can use the zone attack for maybe your opponent discards something due to damage in the base, or maybe into damage in the leader. Use the ECL to attack for 6. Now we attack for 8 in your leader. You can defeat it. But the main thing here now is defeat and upgrade. This is really awesome the next set, because we can use ECL, discard, defeat and upgrade like any upgrade like a pilot, and of course we can defeat a lot of leader pilots. So not just, I think the only one that we can't defeat as an upgrade is Luke, because he have the ability that can't be defeated or something like this. But yeah, Polymer can be really good in the next meta, and I really think the price of Polymer will be higher in maybe 1 month or 2. We have Aggression. Aggression is probably the last played double aspect event, maybe aside with Command. I think both don't play it a lot, but Aggression can be really good now in the next meta, because this defeat up to 2 upgrades, deal 4 damage to a unit. This is insane. You can pay 4, defeat 2 upgrades. One of them can be a leader. So yeah, you can just defeat a leader and something else, and deal 4 damage to a unit. So you can maybe defeat 1 pilot, 1 leader pilot, deal 4 damage to another unit, defeat it. So this is really good, right? And maybe if you don't, maybe the 4 damage, you don't need to do this. Maybe you want to draw a card, you can ready a unit with 3 or less power. So this is really good. But I think the main thing here is defeat up to 2 upgrades and deal 4 damage to a unit. And maybe we can see more double aggression decks in the next meta, because we saw new double aggression cards. So maybe we can see this working a lot, right? And I really think aggressions like Poe can have a higher price in the next month. And of course, Kylo's Die Silence, because the same thing as Millennium Falcon, the next set is for pilots, and we have a probably one of the best cost you space units in the game now, and this is a legendary. This card is not it is expensive now, but I think can be more in the next set because we'll play a lot. Because we can see a lot now, a lot of new decks with red, like the new Boba Fett. We can have the I think it's Bone Reg. I think it's this. So we will see a lot of this, and this card can be really good. It already is in our meta with. We see in the Jungle Archetype. We probably will see more in the next meta, and of course the first order we can play like in the Captain Phasma too, right? Now with the Vigilance aspect, we have here Supreme Leader Snoke. Oh, I know. I said that the meta is more aggressive, so it's harder to the late game cards now. Cause like Avenger, I really think about to put Avenger here, but I didn't. And I think Snoke is better because you can play one turn earlier, and this -2/-2 is really awesome. And we have a lot of like maybe with against the new Darth Vader, they create a lot of 1/1 tokens. This just destroy the deck, right? If you play this, the Darth Vader can't do something, right? So Snoke can be really good in the next meta too. We have here Vigilance, of course. We're seeing the Cunning, we see the aggression now, the Vigilance. Defeating unit that with 3 or less remaining HP is really good because we're dealing now with space, and a lot of space units don't have too much life. And we can defeat a lot of units, and of course Vigilance, I don't even need to explain. Vigilance is really awesome. A lot of decks that don't even use double Vigilance aspect, we play with Vigilance because this card is insane. You can heal for 4, and sometimes you can heal by milling your opponent's deck with the discard 6 cards. And a Grievous Shield token maybe can be really good in the next meta too, because we can use like defeat something, put a shield token in my Sentinel in space, something like this, so I can resist more in the space, right? And we have here the General Grievous, and why I put it this here? General Grievous was a promise, and then less set in the set 3, and we don't saw that often Grievous, but now I think that can be really good because, like I said before, most of the decks playing full space, and if you play like Grievous in turn 1 with Count Dooku, maybe your opponent don't have nothing to deal with this Grievous too early in the game. So maybe this Grievous can do like 12 damage, 16 damage maybe, just with 4 attacks, 3 attacks. And this can be insane, right? It is a 4/4 unit that in the turn 2 you're dealing 4 damage in the turn 4/4 in the turn 1 with Count Dooku. You can do 4 damage in the turn 2 maybe, and your opponent may be playing to do 4 damage, he needs to play like a pilot in the space unit or something like this. And even if he plays like a marine or something that he played in the ground, Grievous can defeat it, or he can do more damage in the base than he can do in your base. So this is good, right? And like I said, if your opponent needs to do more damage to win the race, he needs to do something like play Surprise Strike, maybe Rebel Assault, pilot, this kind of stuff. Because if you play like Green Squad in turn 1, he can do 3 damage, you can do 4, so you're winning the race. And if you're playing like with a 30 base and he's playing with 25, you're winning the race a lot. So if he wants to play more things, he needs to play like piloting. But if you only have one unit, he play pilot, you can play Power to Dark Side, something like this, and you defeat it. And now he don't have a unit, you still have a 4/4, so this can be really good, right? And now the command aspects. We have Home 1. Home 1 can be really good in the next meta because, of course, like I said before, the meta is for space. We have a lot of space things to do, and I think we saw a card that can let you play space units for less. I think it costs 1, and you can play for 3 less. So you can play like Home 1 for 5, but 1 resource for 6, and your opponent create two tokens in space. So you can play Home 1 for 6. You can grab something from your discard pile and play cost 3 less, right? So this is really good, and giving restore 1 to every unit, this is awesome, right? And I would say here now Devastator, but Devastator I don't think is, I don't know, maybe you don't have that time like Snow, because it's more is like 10 resources, but Devastator is really good. We have it is a capital ship, so we can play with Piet. That is awesome. So you can play this for costing 8, so you can ramp a lot with Piet, with resupplies, place technician. You have the resupply carrier, then the new ship that ramps. So we can play this for 8, and we are at ramped. So maybe your opponent have 6 resources or 5, and you playing Devastator. This is insane, right? But yeah, you can play Devastator, and now you can hold space, defeat a leader in the ground, something like that. But I think I chose to put in only 3 cards here, and I think Vader can be better than Devastator in the next turn, because Vader is a card that will always get better. Why? Because the when played to search the top 10 cards, grab something that costs 3 or less, you will always add in more good villain cards in your deck, right? Because for each set we're gaining more villain cards, so maybe we can play Vader to grab more space units that it can be good, and we can, of course, a play that we already seen in set 3 or set 2 is play Darth Vader, then brings the 3/2 Sentinel in space. That is also the Sun Star Fighter, something like this. And this can be really good in X meta. It's better than you play a Sentinel in the ground, maybe, because we're dealing with space now, right? So Darth Vader can be really good in the next meta. And of course the Darksaber, like I said before, the same thing as like Grievous. You like ground is a thing now that we need to be aware, because if you're playing against a full space deck, he can't deal with our ground. So if playing Sabine, if you play with the Darksaber, you can do a lot of damage. Your opponent don't have nothing to deal with it, because he's an aggro deck too, and he's playing space, and maybe he can't out damage you like you can do with the Darksaber or upgrades that you can use in the ground units like this, right? So this is it. This is everything that I prepared to you guys here about the legendaries that you must have before set 4. What are you guys thinking? Maybe I'm wrong. Say here in the comments. See you in the next video.